Hello gang. As soon as I press the record button I can hear, is it Christina Aguilera's, he's a something Candyman? Someone can help me out, I'm sure. Fitness instructors. Fitness in. We're going to see if we can get to 20 videos. I was looking last night after whatever happened, late last night actually, and I've been getting comments on some of these videos, not many comments, but some from the same person and that. And their comments had disappeared, so I thought I'd search for them, wonder what's up. And then all these videos turned up, like they're spam bots or something, that if you subscribe back to them, they can hack your channel and you know, rip it off and use it on their sites or something. And I'm thinking, they're welcome to. I was having a look also last night. I was thinking, you know, these big YouTubers who I've mentioned before, excuse me, can't leave myself alone. They are monetized. They make money, hence why some people don't like them. And you know, I don't understand how you can be a YouTube celebrity and have a importance in the world. But you think, well, you're doing it for a reason. I don't know. These are, as I say, isolation vlogs and vlogs, whatever you want to call them. But today, I had a look and I thought, I wonder if I can get money for this shit, just out of curiosity. And it goes, you need 1,000 subscribers. And the content must be good, and you must have so many views total or something. And I think I need 100 or 100. No, something like 1,000, 10,000 views, and I've only had 20 individual ones in the month that I've been doing this. And then it says 1,000 subscribers, and I have technically 3. Because I subscribed to myself with the other channel I do, just so that I could link the two when the time came. I was writing on the blog today, and that's not a shameless plug. As I said, the two are meant to be, you know, interrelated and carry on. And I suddenly got into thinking about M&S, my time at it, because social distancing is meant to carry on now to the end of the year, and I don't know what that will entail, because we're meant to be coming out of a lockdown by then. But if that's like distances of 2 meters, then it must make the yellow stickers quite interesting, because I used to get swarmed on a good day, and it gave me throbbing anxiety. It didn't really help my anxiety. The stress I put myself through in a shift, as people told me that I work with, is hardly you know, utterly pointless. I shouldn't have done it to myself, but I did, and I did it with the tour buses, and I'll do it with the next job and for the rest of my life probably. How I haven't given myself serious self problems in the past 15 years is anyone's guess, because I was like it at university and secondary school. And secondary school was 18 years ago. It's hard to describe what your average day would be, really. I mean, every day was the same, like the tour buses. Although with the tour buses, you usually, 9 times out of 10, got different people on different tours. You had repeat offenders, as I used to think of them, as say on the third tour of the day, which you'd be doing 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And they've been on your very first tour at 9, maybe. Before, I mean, the first tour used to leave at 8, 10. People would be on that bus, which annoyed us no end, because you're still waking up. With M&S, and the views expressed in this video do not represent Marks and Spencer's. Right, that's your BBC impression. Do what you wish. You turn up for work. What did we do? when I started, you used to just walk in, and then they brought in this thing where you switched your name around. It was black on the front, white on the back. Your name would, black with white font, white with black font on either side, and you said to yourself, right, work. And then they tapped in, and then it got a bit like the Stasi when people were being pulled out for being a minute late. Felt okay, a few seconds late. I think somebody got pulled out on once, or a minute early. And I did it a couple of times, and I know I defended my corner meekly. But you turn up, and my shifts until 4 or 5 years into the job were evening shifts. When I started as a temp in 2011, the week my gran died, in first week of December. I was mornings, and I did 4-hour shifts, 7 to 11, and it was very surreal after a while, because I was waking up at 4:30 to get the first train to Wickham, and in those days I didn't get the bus home, and in hindsight I was told never to use as a history student, but it meant if I thought about using the bus, I would have been home sooner, because I was always waiting at Princess Whisper for God knows how long. But you turn up in pitch blackness, and then you leave if the weather's nice in blue skies, and it's like it felt like 2 separate days. And I was always gone hour, maybe 2 hours after the shop opened. And once I ended up doing an extra hour shift without realising. And I say without realising, I was on the end till well away from the bell, which is on the end. And we were sort of told in training you don't really leave the till unattended when there's a customer there. And the queue kept getting longer and longer, and I was the only person there, and I thought, well, I can't. It's getting too mad, and I ended up doing an extra hour because no one was there. Yeah. So you even, and then I was bakery trained, and part of the bakery training I did the evening shifts, 2 till 8, 3 till 7. It was usually that. The weirdest one was Christmas 2012, and the only time I was there, they had decided that, I think it was from the start of the last week in November, start of December, the shop would open till 8 on a Monday to Saturday, and we usually closed at 7 Monday, Saturday, and you closed at 8 on a Thursday in the Eden Centre, and High Wycombe was late night shopping, so it was 8. And so M&S said, for our shop anyway, 9 o'clock on a Thursday, and then Christmas week, or the week up until Christmas, I think Christmas was on a Sunday that year, because I was being told to, no, it was on the Saturday, because I was having to do stock count, and I couldn't get in because of the turkeys. And the shop opened till 9 o'clock weekdays, 10 o'clock on a Thursday that time. So my shift got shifted because I was doing 4 hours or whatever, and so I was starting at 3-4 o'clock Sunday that month, and it was like I was a hermit. So anyway, I was bakery trained, and it's just getting stuff out of the freezer, making sure you're topped up and whatnot, going off to the main freezer, what you're doing while you shelves aren't full. It got really intense towards the end of my time there. The store manager once parked herself and her apprentice parked themselves in front of the bakery, and I was in the cafe in my final year or 2 there, and we would have 4 or 5 people if we were lucky, doing 5 jobs each kind of thing. Customers having a go at you, the queues out the door, hot food's taking forever, they say, things are cold, things are bad, this, that and the other, and you are meant to be going downstairs at 12 o'clock because the morning baker's going home at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and you can't physically leave the cafe because you're effectively, all of you have got your fingers in the dike. And I came downstairs, and Saturdays were getting worse and worse and worse because I had to do stock counts in the main, and that involved standing in the main freezer, counting stuff. And if it hadn't been sorted out by the behind the scenes chaps, then you were standing, turning cages around. And I never remember the quantity of particular bread, so I'm standing turning, tick, tick, tick with my pencil, losing the feelings in my fingers after a while. As much as I want to go to Antarctica, that might have helped me out. And then for the ISB, you were taking the stuff out of the little freezer because you couldn't keep the door open because the temperature shoot up, and you couldn't shut yourself in it because the light would turn off, and you were constantly taking. And then you were opening the boxes, counting individually, and then being a Saturday, I started reductions always at least an hour. I used to do an hour and a half before close, and then I think I got told after in my last year that effectively shouldn't M&S top all over the country reductions an hour before close as far as ISP is concerned, and you get it in the neck from customers, the cheapskates, and they start drifting past. And there was once a woman, I remember, she made at least 4 sweeps of the bakery coming up to the scones, and I'm stressed as hell. I've got people coming out, and after a while you knew who they were. There were at least 20 people that came in every single day. So yeah, and for some reason it just made me really agitated. And then when I ended up doing it behind the counter, because once I got 2 women either side of me who were constantly in my ear, and they went off and complained to my manager that I wasn't doing what they told me to do. And the manager, thank God for a woman that didn't like me anyway, said that, well, he has to do it, they have to do it a certain way, and shouldn't speak to people like that. And she came over and said, you're okay, do it. And then somebody else had to go, so I did it behind the counter. And also I've had people reach between my legs to pick up something from behind the counter and under my arm, and you know, I was told I exaggerated it, but I'm not the only one. I've seen online, I watched a video of Black Friday once, a couple of years ago, and there was somebody on it saying, I work at Asda, and you get this on a daily basis when you're doing your yellow sticker, and we just, there's suddenly a whole bunch of people, including myself, are going, yeah, I work at whatever and do this. So she made 4 sweeps, and I'm going, right, what, 5 scones, 6 scones, 8 scones. Are you not doing the scones? No. Why? Well, I got to do it a set time. Yeah, you always. Irish women always she had a problem with me. Always bitching to my colleagues about me, saying I don't do it. And these people would follow you all over the shop floor. I mean, I remember once I was having to go upstairs to the cafe a couple of times because I forgot something called the D10 bottle was up there or whatever, and I forgot that I had to sign something upstairs, and so I raced downstairs, got the machine ready, got everything ready, and then went shit cafe, and this person was following me back and forth, and I remember once I thought he was a little bit. I started to come back when they introduced the outline stools to put your bed sticks in. I would go there first, and so I had my basket full, and I'm walking down one end, and I can see him paralleling me, and he's looking down, and every time he sees me, he sticks on his course. And at one point, when I reached the end, I turned back up the aisle and came up behind him, and he literally was like this, going down, and then he turned around and saw me and flipping, you know. That was the worst thing about it, I think. People said it, you know, but it was just every single day of my life, it seemed I was being stalked like prey. And, you know, I once had to bring something down from the cafe and freeze it, and I was bent double, I was not pushing it in a health and safety manner. Sorry, Dan, if you're watching. And suddenly this woman came flying at me. I mean, seriously, I was like this, and she just swum. And when you're doing the yellow sticks, when you're doing this, I went, Jesus, right, I'm doing it soon, I've got to do this first. I mean, there's not time for it. And then I was trying to do it. And the thing is with it, you have to enter a quantity into your machine, print a sticker for whatever, and then enter it, but don't print a sticker. So you've got 10, I'd have to say 10 scones. I would do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, hang on. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is how bad my maths are. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's what, 4 bags of 2. So you print 4 stickers and then record 4 and so on and so forth. And she just gave a running commentary on it, and it annoyed the living daylights out of me because I was doing, and then the person waiting with. Oh. So that was M&S, and I miss the people I work with terribly. Some more than others. Seen as some of my greatest defeats, more than anything really. I lost a few people died when I was working, and not that I work with, but you know, my uncle, my two grandmothers, my best friend, and I had some really bad experiences. Not, you know, end of the world kind of things, but you know, your Saturdays in particular, you were in up to your neck the moment you turned in, and you're running around like a blue ass fly, and people going, why is this taking so long, and why is that taking so long? And hang on, sorry, my phone was dying, so I'm quickly putting it on charge. Keep sitting in front of my NHS thing, because tonight we're clapping. But you would be running around. I mean, one of the worst Saturdays, I got told to come upstairs from the bakery. I think there was 4 of them in the cafe. The queue's out the door, every single seat's taken. And I got told by the manager who sent me upstairs I'd only be out there for half an hour. So I said, that's not going to happen. I'm going to be out there for 3 hours. And you went, oh, come on. And I was out there for ages because I couldn't leave these people to do it. And then you still have to do a stock count. And you had to get it done by 7 and go. And the cafe, more often than not, in my last year, there was never really wound down by 8 o'clock. Not fully, anyway. And yeah, and we were running around, and I think the girl, yeah, I won't say her name, but a girl that left for university. Was freaking out about how people were speaking to her, and I went up, I took something, this is taking half an hour. I said, look, we've got to wait. And the thing is, you get the ovens are like small little bastard things, and they can only take so much. We were told once we should get bigger ovens. I'm laughing because I know somebody's reaction to that. And Christmas, we'll say 2018. No, 2017. Whenever it was that the staff in December was horrific. I turned up once on a Monday morning, I think, something like 10, 11 o'clock. The queue is already starting to take shape towards the door, which it never really did until after 11:30, 12 o'clock. And there was only 4 of us, and I was the last person turning up for the day. Maybe 5 of us, let's see, hot food, till, coffee, tables, yeah, 4 of us. And I didn't like doing till work because it made my anxiety very bad. I mean, the tills upstairs had more buttons on them than downstairs, or anywhere else in the shop, and you press one button, it all goes pear-shaped. And some woman said to us, something along the lines of, you're utterly useless. And I went, oh, okay. And then somebody else said, she said, I've been in the queue for like half an hour. And we always said to each other, why the hell do you do that to yourself? I mean, I've seen how bad queues can be elsewhere, and I leave or go somewhere else. Like, you know, when I used to go over the Pret, say at Green Park, I can be asked to wait, so I'd go off to Cafe Nero around the corner, or find the nearest Costa, where, you know, or just leave it. And somebody once said there were 6 of us doing nothing, and it's when they would watch you at a till. And I once said that Irishman that came after me for reductions, bitching around me in distance, and then wondering why you're looking over at them. But the thing is, I remember everything that is done or said to me, and so a lot of, sometimes M&S comes floating back into my mind. And it does with the tour buses. I've had a perfect recall, as somebody described it, my cognitive behaviour therapist, since I was little. I can remember obscure memories from when I was about 3, I think is and I can't tell you what my earliest memory is, but it's crazy what I do remember. Things I've said, things I've done, and I've done things I've not been proud of. And if I ever find the people I did it to, I'd ask for forgiveness. Nothing horrific before anyone thinks, but we all do things we're not proud of when we're little anyway, because we're idiots when we're children. But yeah, I remember stuff. And so it's with M&S. I mean, I do remember somebody, I think it was my psychiatric doctor the other year when I first saw him in 2018. Something like when I was last truly happy, I think, and I honestly couldn't remember a time when I was. I mean, I've been like this since I was 11. There's a clear-cut moment in my life, for whatever reason, I just gave up smiling. And apparently I used to smile a lot when I was little. My mum dumped a sack of children, my baby and young childhood photos on me for some reason. And obviously as a baby you smile because you don't know what you're born into. But smile. Boom, just before I started secondary school. Sour faces. No, I wasn't a sourpuss, like I'm sounding now, but it was not, it's not been an enjoyable life. I've not had it as bad as some people, but I've been told in the past, say 5 years, because it's all blurred into one since M&S, I've had, and probably still have, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I said, I can't do it, I've not been in a war. And they persisted with this theory, and it just made me uncomfortable because it's something that happens to chaps who have fought for their country and not people that have been knocked around by people physically and mentally. But apparently it is. I'm probably autistic or something. I've got obsessive compulsive disorder that's getting worse by the year. And another long video. I'm looking at the dial. And yeah, I mean, I joke about the next life, it will be better. But I make self-deprecating jokes to cover it up. It used to wind up my group therapist from 2017 to 19, I think, because I'd say something and then feel the need to lighten the mood. And he goes, why do you do that? And I go, well, you're not really providing any options. I did 2 years of that and never once got told how I could improve things. The people with me tried to, but the chap who I thought was there to do so didn't. Not that I remember anyway. And there were people in my life that are blissfully ignorant then and now what's going on. I'm luckier than I realise. And I do have moments where I'm like, oh my god, I am. And that's not saying I'm ignorant or arrogant about such things, but I've had some fairly dark moments this year. The darkest in my life. And thing I have until lockdown, been reliant on certain things to get myself into the morning, and I've made myself sick doing it, which you would have thought would tell me to stop doing it. And that again is something that the psychiatric doctor didn't want to acknowledge, or at least talk about on Microsoft Teams, which I keep seeing stupid adverts for on 4OD when I'm trying to watch something. It's an advert, I know, but it's a blatant advert, if you know what I mean. Fucking Microsoft. They can't follow, they can't stop flipping Outlook.com accounts sending me sextortion emails, but they can spend the time on a bloody advert. But, you know, I have my... I have a friend I've known since we were both 6.5, 7. Hang on, 9. Well, we'll say 8 actually. Yeah, 7 or 8. The only person I've still talked to really from school consistently. I got not really anyone from university as such. I still am friends on Facebook anyway with the legend that is Sneds and Sean and the others, but I don't really hear from them, and if I lived in London I would hope to. They're awfully nice people, and they were the first bunch of people that were nice to me, the 13th floor, except for the infamous Morgan, 6 girls, 6 boys to each floor of the halls of residence in Marylebone. And Morgan, is it Morgan? I only ever saw her once. Somehow she got out of her room and into the lift and up and back and in and out and whatever without any of us ever seeing her. And supposedly her mother once dated John Travolta. I don't know how anyone found out. And we once had a piss up in the flat, and somebody had brought Captain Morgan, and I said, "Oh, she's turned out actually," and they went, "No, I was just saying about the drink." The time I saw her, I was waiting in the lift up, and you had an even numbered lift and an odd numbered lift, so it's in the odd, and I don't know, you don't know anyone in the halls of residence, and she suddenly stepped off the 13th floor, and I looked at her and I went, well, maybe she was after the 11th floor, and she's going to use the stairs, and the boys' both sections had their own doors, so you went left for the girls' rooms, boys too, right? Common room was there, dining, kitchen was there, and she turned left and opened the door with her key, and I went into the thing, and I don't know where I've been, probably class, and I said to Kate, I think it was always Kate, the girl from Melbourne, I said, some girl just walked into the door, if one of you girls given her the key kind of thing. She went, oh no, there must have been Morgan. I can't for the life of me remember now who replaced her. Oh, Gabby, of course. Fuck me. Sorry, Gabby, if you're watching. So I thought Gabby and somebody else came into the floor. Well, Gabby, if you are watching this, it's 15 years ago. I'm the only one who cares, I think. And I got my friends some M&S, and I got tour bus people now, and a friend over 2 people in the United States, one of whom I've not met either of them, but one of whom has always been there, and she's married and has a child now, and still has time, despite how busy she is, to get in touch with us, and that's a friend. I mean, in It's a Wonderful Life, Clarence said to George Bailey, no man is alone who has friends, and yet you do feel alone. People have killed themselves because there's no other recourse. Their thoughts and their mental processes have driven them into a dark place that they can't really get out of, or feel there's no solution. Robin Williams had a family he cared deeply for. People do it because they have no other option, it feels like, or it puts an end to pain, or it puts an end to the voices in your head. And friends, lately I wish I was alone. Anyway, it feels like I am alone. I am alone in the flat. In the flat. I don't know what downstairs are dancing on, but it sounds like it's flipping river dance. And you can hear out in the garden when I went to top up my gas lot at the weekend. And yeah, I get self-conscious playing my music, but you know why? It's the Beach Boys, it's the Monkeys, and the other day I went, fuck it, put in the Monkeys' Good Times out. Don't look at me like that, I know one of you are. Because it's already on, I don't care, it's half an hour. And the song You Bring the Summer is utterly joyful, and so she makes me laugh. I never thought I'd hear a Monkey song involving the words selfies, mobile phones, or whatever, but Mickey Dolenz is my hero nowadays. When I was younger, I liked Mike Naismith, but then you read that Mike Naismith didn't entirely like being associated with the Monkeys, and nowadays he kind of is, because there's only 2 of them now that poor Davey and Peter have died. When I was at school, it was uncool to like things like the Monkeys, and everyone either supported Liverpool. Usually either supported Arsenal or Man United. So for someone to support a team in blue that didn't have a Russian owner. Although when I was at school, in primary school anyway, and secondary school, because I think he took over after 2003, wasn't it? Chelsea were always a team that seemed towards the wrong end of the table. And Portsmouth's YouTube channel, because lockdown has done weird things. Like I'm getting YouTube video recommendations to the subscriptions the people I'm subscribed to from like 5 years ago, and I'm like, why now? I've probably watched that video. Anyway, Portsmouth have put up whole matches from the Premier League era, and it's like the squad we had wearing this bloody tie Beanie Baby, and in days when we had Peter Crouch and Cranshaw and stuff like that, and I think it's like watching another life. They put up when we beat Reading 7-4, the weirdest football match you're likely to watch. That is the highest scoring game in Premier League history, 11 goals, and it was only 2-0 or 2-2 at half time. If I remember rightly, so one of the managers said one of the goalkeepers, because they talked to both David James and whoever the Reading keeper was, I forgot now, American chap, Hanneman, and both of them, one of them said essentially that it wasn't a good advert for defending. I mean, if a team scores 4 goals, they've usually run the match or you've had some 4-4 score lines, but 7-4, bloody hell. And disappointingly, Saturday Night Live aren't putting any Darryl Hammond videos up. I mean, if somebody could let Saturday Night Live know that Darryl Hammond does a better Donald Trump than Bolden. And by the way, Mr. Bolden, if you are watching, I do like your Trump, and I'm a massive fan of yours because of 30 Rock and the Hunt for Red October and your general badassery. But Hammond inhabited Trump. And I'm speaking about it like he's dead, but if you can, they're shorter videos than this bloody movie I've just made, but watch Darryl Hammond, Bill Clinton, it's Bill Clinton's just amazing. They're not as accurate. Well, people say they're not as good as Phil Hartman, and Phil Hartman left in rather tragic circumstances. He got murdered by his wife in his sleep, or at least she shot him in some kind of drug haze. And Hartman's Clinton, like his McDonald's sketch, is legendary, but Hammond did a fair job, and they brought him back to do an impression of Chris Matthews around a month ago, and that is the most accurate impression I've seen for a while on that thing. And Hammond's somebody else, by the way, that's had trouble with mental health issues, a lot worse than I've ever had. But yeah, it's Bill Clinton. Like, they used to get him to do movie reviews in the 90s when Norm Macdonald, the legend, was still doing it. And Independence Day. What's the best part of Independence Day? Dead First Lady. Anything else you like that? Well, the stripper. Does she have friends? Are they willing to meet the president? Or Absolute Power, where he says he doesn't like it. It's not accurate because he doesn't like the fact the mistress, I think, gets killed. And Norm Macdonald says, is it easy to smuggle a woman into the White House? And he just said, well, what have you heard? He's like, well, no, I haven't heard anything. I'm just asking, is it easy to smuggle a woman into the White House? And he goes, no, seriously, what have you heard? And this was the year before the Lewinsky scandal. Technically, though, she wasn't smuggled in, was she? She was an intern. So yeah, it's weird, and this is 33 minutes long. Do I split it into... Fuck it. This will send most people to sleep. I don't know how long it's going to take me to upload. Let's have a look. See how my... I don't know if you can see. It's still uploading. My latest tour guide video. I don't know why I decided to make it virtually the moment I woke up, so it's a little bit more grounded than this shit is. And next thing I know, I did a video for 46 minutes, which delayed my coffee of the day. And it took about 10-15 minutes to cobble it together because it was a massive video, and I just slapped whatever on the front and the end. And then what you do, you say, I've got the Movie Maker 10 thing, so you click Save Video, because I've got the free version, so I can't save the project, and I'm not paying out that amount of money at the moment. And it says something like saving, I think. I forget, because there's 2 parts, and the saving bit took a while, and then it's meant to finalise the output. I'm doing that because it constantly spins. The whole thing, to the moment it reached 100% on the phone. The highest output took me 5 hours of my life. Now that's not to say I can sit here going like this, watching my laptop. But it slows my laptop down, so I can't do my writing. I've just been reading my, book, and like I do in the day, because when it gets dark, I just watch. I get going with my writing, which is almost done. And I don't even read in this kind of light, even with a light on. So anyway, and I started uploading to YouTube at, we'll say 4:30, and it's now 3 hours and 16 minutes since I started, and it's 35%, and this video is 35 minutes long at the moment. If you don't like the intro, let us know. I've always wanted to do a really long video, but I thought it'd be something much more interesting, hence the tour guide and one. Okie dokie, Batman. I've gone mad, I'm agitated, my anxiety's on the roof, but we're pressing on.